Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well, thank you for joining me again. I saw an interesting concept or an interesting premise earlier on in another video, and it was, what if Nigel Farage never returned? What if we still had Richard Tice as leader of reform? Very interesting question, I thought. You see, throughout the land, Conservatives, Labour, Lib Dems, Green, you name it, the whole establishment as a whole, people are fed up. There's a lot of voter apathy out there. And when you're left with the choices that are presented in front of you, you think, well, what's the point? There isn't any point anymore. None of this works, so why bother? This is where the first past the post system kind of acts in the favour of the establishment, where people don't bother, because you could get a very, very low percentage of the electorate come out and vote, and then you will get MPs returned on the back of the approval of hardly anybody. And I fear that if Nigel didn't come back, that interest would not be there, and then we'd end up with a Conservative, or more likely this time a Labour government, off the back of not a great many people. It's a very scary prospect. Now, there are those out there that say they're withdrawing themselves from the system completely. They don't want to give their consent to it by consenting either way. They don't want anything to do with it. And there are those that are quite happy to vote Conservative and vote Labour and just carry on with the same old charade we've had for at least the last 100 years. If Richard Tice was still in charge of reform, I believe that it wouldn't have happened, because even though, and I have it on good authority, that Richard Tice is a nice guy, there was too much out there in the public domain about him and his interests, and people were thinking, hang on a minute, what's going on here? So I think the masterstroke is Nigel Farage coming back. It's promoted that interest. It's promoted that belief again that maybe something can change. That's for people that decide they are going to vote. And they're coming out in their masses. You look at the crowds, you look at the people that are coming, and more importantly, you look at the reaction of the establishment, you look at the reaction of journalists, you look at them all frothing at the mouth. And they still haven't learned, have they? The more you try and cancel somebody, the more popular they become. And it's time immemorial, they always do it. But the fact of the matter is, if Farage didn't come back, if he decided to stay in retirement with his cushy little number on GB News, I think we would live in a world where hardly anybody would have voted, and this country would be in more trouble. Now, I believe now there is hope of an alternative, be it reform, or if you choose to go and do something else. But I very much believe, no matter what side you sit on, everybody, everywhere, has got to vote. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, share me on your social media channels. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.